Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a build that is actually for, you may have seen her channel before, it's Lilsimsie, and she has a series on her channel which is Fixer Upper. And it's a series I've actually been watching for ages, and it's really cool actually, and I suggest you guys to all go and see it. But this build I was just going to do for fun on my own, just, you know, for the hell of it, as sort of more of a fun build that I wasn't actually recording. But I'm going on holiday in under a week, so probably when I upload this, it's going to be one of my pre-recorded things. So that's why I did it, so that I would have something, because I built this like half of it already, but it's so that I have something for that time. But I don't want to pressure Lilsimsie. I don't want to, you know, Kayla is her name. I don't want to pressure her because she doesn't have to do this, but like to fix it up. But I wanted to build it anyway, just for the sake of it and just for fun. But I've actually also made it so that you guys who are storytellers or let's players or whatever, I think this will be a really good lot for you. So it's a lot that I think that a lot of stories could go on here, and you'll see this could be like a meeting place, and you'll see later on I've got like a hidden surprise, and actually I put it in there, and I'd hoped, you'll see what it is soon, but I hoped that, okay, so I'm putting it in here. So we've got the room downstairs, and you'll see that I've got the stairs going down. I covered that with a whole load of like leaves and stuff, and what I was hoping is, I'm sure Kayla will look at all of the levels to make sure before she starts the video. But what I thought would be so funny if she was making it and then she was deleting some of the objects and suddenly she found this hidden room underneath, and you'll see why in a minute why it might, you know, be quite shocking. But yeah, you might see at the beginning something which I learnt with when I was building this lot before is if you hold the shift button while you're doing like if you use the tool for drawing rooms, if you press the shift button, then you can actually change the orientation of that way how you're building the thing. So if you've ever been like trying to build boxes that are on diagonal, you can do that by pressing shift, which is, I think, is a really cool idea. But yeah, I really wanted to include these because I don't know whether you guys knew, but I think I talked about it once, maybe in one of my other builds, or maybe I haven't actually released that one yet. But these like stones, this like terrain paint, the stones actually match up. So you've got like the full one, so I'm putting down like the one with no grass now, and then putting on the one with grass on top, and they match up perfectly, so you can fade it in and it looks like the grass has sort of grown up and over the stones, which I think is such a cool thing that The Sims added in. And also you'll see here I'm changing some of the bricks to a different colour because for whatever reason it was like registering that only part of it was a room, and the bit which wasn't part of that room, it was coming up, maybe it was like a lighting thing, but it was coming up a different colour. But then when I went and got the other coloured like brick, it then, you know, matched up. So I'm sorry if you've got like random dark bits of you know, brick on your build or whatever, but yeah, that's what I had to do. And I made these little piggies. If Kayla does want to redo this lot, then we can say that these pigs, and I actually put some horses into, they could be, if she doesn't want them anymore or doesn't feel like they fit in the build that she makes out of this, if she does, then we can say that they were sold to another local farm, maybe. So we're not killing the pretend animals. But this is the build that I was talking about, which is underneath, and this was heavily inspired by a build that Fry did from Simproved, and it's like a creepy sort of underground photo booth. Mine's more of a photo booth, but it's like she did it as like a Halloween build, but it's like maybe like a torture sort of weird, you know, really creepy thing. And I was actually, the reason that this sort of made me think of this is you guys might have seen Let's Plays, or you might have even played it yourself, with Life is Strange, and that was quite a heavy inspiration for me. So it's the dark room, so this is basically my version of the dark room, which, I'm sorry for the spoilers, but we find out that it's below the a barn, and so my the name of this build is, you know, after what that is in Life is Strange. But so sorry for giving spoilers, but yeah, and I use loads of like debug objects in here, and we've got one of the I'm gonna put it in a minute, but we've got one of the doctor's chairs, so like for patients, and you can put them on there, and we've got like the photo area and stuff like that. But I thought that if you're making let's plays and stuff, this could be like owned by a certain family, or you could, like, your Sims could come here and they discover this, and or they get locked down inside, or even if you don't want to use this and you just want it to be like a barn or whatever, then what you can do is you can just delete that room if you want, or you can even save that room or use the one that Fry made. Hers is really good, and yeah, use that for your let's plays or whatever. But up here I'm going to be doing a whole lot of clutter, and I'll be honest with you, this happened, I don't know why, like, this never ever happens to me, but it happened to me in the last in the Atlantis build that I did for the interior of it. But I never do this, but I forgot, like, I pressed the start record twice, so it recorded for like a couple of seconds and then stopped, and so I lost, like, I was building here for like an hour or so, and I lost all of it because it was like loads and loads of scrolling through all the debug items to try and find the best stuff. Yeah, it was pretty annoying, but I tried to recreate what I did before, but it's not as good, I don't think. I think that I did it much better before, but I think this is still reasonably decent. And there's quite a few objects, like this one with the, it looks like maybe like a copper coil, and then there's like this vat or something, the yellow vat, and then like the I'm not sure what that is, maybe like sheet of maybe aluminium or something, but yeah, I've never seen that item before. And there's also like these this little shelving thing which I've never seen before either, so it's really there's some really cool stuff in there. But I've sized some things up and sort of made things look and maybe like the ash, I've sized that up before, it's quite small, but there's some hidden items in there, like I put like a hammer and a knife. And so the story of this build is that someone previously owned it, and my Sims, which I created, they came along and they've bought this, and they were like stockbrokers, and they didn't want the stressful life anymore, and they'd had a kid, and they just wanted to escape to the country because they'd got loads and loads of money, and just on impulse they just bought this place and were like, it's okay, we'll just do it up, it doesn't matter how bad condition it is, we just want to live here. And so that was sort of the idea of it. So I tried to, like, maybe like I hid that knife somewhere, and like the hammer, and there's like the ashes and a whole load of like weird things that I've hidden around that maybe you guys could, like, if you were making like a let's play or something, or just playing for fun with this lot, that maybe you could like try and figure out, or try and find like the items to try and figure out how this person maybe might have been killed or abducted, or maybe someone wanted revenge, or maybe they just escaped and that was evidence to a crime scene of the crimes that they committed and they just ran away, or something like that. But that's what I thought, and that's why I hid them in there. But this little room off to the side, it was supposed to be, because this is like a farm, I thought that maybe this is something that sometimes happens in the UK, in barns in the UK. This barn is inspired by like American barns, but they have like a little offshoot to the side, and that's where they sell like produce and stuff, and they have like a little office there. But that's quite common in farms in the UK. But yeah, you might have seen quite a while ago, it was one of my the first builds on my channel. I think it might have even been the first one I ever did a voiceover for, so not sure how embarrassing that is. But I did a barn conversion for that one, and that's also something that's really common in the UK. And the barns look quite different from like classic American ones that I guess I've seen on TV, but they're really beautiful, and I love the kind of like style that you get, and you get like exposed beams, and like it's really kind of like rustic, but then sometimes has like modern features and stuff like that. I think it's a really cool thing, and my parents actually were looking into doing it, but we didn't do it in the end because we couldn't find anywhere that any barns that weren't in the complete middle of nowhere, that, you know, and obviously me and my sister needed to go to school, so it was and my brother too. I'm not sure if my brother was born by that point, but yeah. So that's what we had wanted, or my parents had wanted to do, but we never got the chance to. But the reason why I thought to do this is because you do see like barns getting converted into houses quite a lot in the UK, but I didn't know if it was a thing in America. Like, I didn't know whether it was a thing that barns like this, like the classic red and white ones, do get converted into houses. But I'd like to see Lilsimsie's take on it and see if she can do it. But I made like a little it could be a pool, it could be a pond, but it's supposed to be like really like not very nice and kind of disgusting looking, and I put like dirt and mud around it. But maybe it could be made into like either like a really, really pretty pond, or maybe even a pool could go there instead, but it could be like converted or something. But either way, I think that maybe the water could be kept there, or maybe it could be taken away. But I wanted to include it, and also I wasn't really sure what to do with that space, so actually putting in some form of water was actually the easiest thing to do, so that's why I did it. But yeah, I think actually while I was doing this my computer crashed, so this is actually the second time that I'm not sure why it crashed actually, because I think I'd recorded it and then it crashed while I was saving, but I'd already gone down. I think I'd like gone downstairs to, you know, make some dinner or something. And I came back and my computer was just like turned off. But yeah, but that was like only like 10 minutes or so. So it wasn't really that big a deal, and I just had to like place some rocks. And I think I did this bit over here. It's like a garden area. And what I did is I went into debug mode and I got some trees. And there'll be like, in the debug mode, there'll be like several different types of each tree. You'll see in a minute. And one of like, I'll put in some of them to begin with, and they won't actually show up. They'll be like little mounds of dirt. But if you click on the other ones, then it will be a full grown tree. But that's a little trick that you can do. And then here's me putting in some little bits of landscaping, so some more trees and stuff that weren't, you know, just normal trees. And I think I put some seating area around that bonfire in the back, and I'm not sure what else I do. I think it's just terrain paint and stuff like that from here on out. But yeah, thank you very, very, I think I'm going to stop. So thank you very, very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.